What is up, subscribers? Sunjutsu here, and today I bring to you guys another versus video. Now, I know it's been a while. It has. Now, you guys know how this goes. There are four categories, and I will give the edge to each one. This won't be a very particularly long video because, again, it is very nonsensical. So let's go ahead and jump right in with the first category, and it's going to be soldiers. Now, the edge I have to go ahead and give. I'm going to go ahead and give the edges right away in the beginning of the video. I've changed my style a little bit on these guys because I don't want them to drag on so long, 20-30 minutes. But the Lizardmen have, of course, the saurs, they have skinks, they have croxagores, they have huge animals that or lizardmen that are just terrifying. They also have little skinks, but the Conquistadors have regular old chaps with swords and shields. Well, not shields, but armor. And so the edge I have to go ahead and obviously give it to the Lizardmen because let's see here, the Conquistadors, they get the like I said, they get the shield, the steel cuirasses, the steel swords, the spears, maybe steel helmets, and that's about it. They're basically essentially very similar to the Empire soldiers, the base ones anyway, from Total War Warhammer. So do I think that they have a chance against the Lizardmen? Yes, I do think they do. But do I think that they outright get the edge because they just have a chance? Absolutely not. The Saurus would completely annihilate these guys. Even with gunpowder, I don't see much of an edge just to give it to the soldiers in the Conquistadors army. So the edge has to go to the Lizardmen. Next, we have firepower. And for this one, I wanted to go ahead and use the magic that the Slan mage priests have at their disposal versus gunpowder, weapons, and cannons and all that from the Conquistador side. So for this category, I have to give the edge to the Conquistadors. Now, people might be saying, what? No, the Slan mage priests have great, awesome spells that can completely annihilate an entire Conquistador army. Maybe. But the reason that I'm giving the Conquistadors the edge is because the Conquistadors have much more, I guess, they have more of it. They have more firepower. They have cannons. They have more muskets. Now, I do know they had a limited amount when they brought them over in each expedition, but they still have quite a bit. They also have ships that are going to be patrolling the coastline, so they have all this firepower aimed right at all the Lizardmen, while the Lizardmen have mage priests. I mean, I'm not going to say there aren't that many, but only for when it comes to the magic that I'm talking about, the mage priests have the magic. So when it comes to gunpowder, most of the army, or a good portion of the army for the Conquistadors, have gunpowder, while the Lizardmen, only a select unit from what I'm talking about, which are the Slan mage priests, they have this type of firepower, the magic. So I want to go ahead and give the edge to the Conquistadors. X Factor. The X Factor is the extra little thing that I really couldn't come up with another category, so I decided to go ahead and just make an X Factor one because I already know who I want to have the edge, and I already picked out 2 X Factors for each of these combatants. So the Lizardmen, I give the X Factor of their bestiary, the animals that they either ride on or they command into battle, such as the jungle swarms, Razordon, Bastillodons, Troglodon, animals of that nature. Very strong, very tough animals. Now, the Conquistadors have an X Factor of their own, and it's one that I do think that it could affect the Lizardmen. You know what? I think it downright will, and that is smallpox. That is the same thing that took down the Aztec Empire for the most part, the Incan Empire, most Native Americans, is smallpox disease. Now, the reason I'm saying this, and I wouldn't put this as a edge, which, oh, I haven't given it to them yet. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the Conquistadors, but that's the edge. They're gonna get the edge for X Factor of their disease, and here's why. I wouldn't have put it as their edge because until I kind of looked more into it and I saw that when the Skaven first attacked Lizardmen, they used great plagues and biles to destroy their birthing pools and infect them with sickness. Now, you could say, oh, they're two different species, but then again, the rats and the lizards are completely different species. So it's not preposterous to say that, you know, humans and lizardmen couldn't share that same amount of disease capabilities, or being that vulnerable to the same disease. So that's kind of why I give this category to the Conquistadors for having such infectious disease, which is smallpox. Last category is going to be leaders. Now, the Conquistadors, I wanted to go ahead. They each had their own great leaders that, especially for different countries, that brought different parties into the New World. But the one I wanted to choose for the Conquistadors as a whole, even though they're different countries, is going to be Hernan Cortez. And he was a great leader, risked it all, went overseas, and toppled one of the greatest empires the world had ever seen on his own. In contrast, we have for the Lizardmen, Lord Mazdamundi, and you know what? He gets the edge. I couldn't even, you know what? I didn't have to go that far into just even saying his name. Okay, so a giant ancient toad, what essentially would be a mythical, magical being, very, very powerful, very, very smart, completely outclasses just Hernan Cortez being a regular person. So the edge goes straight to the Lizardmen for their leaders. So this is the conclusion. My conclusion for who wins this battle. You guys might be upset about this, so go ahead and hold on to those mouses and those keyboards, because I know I'm gonna get a tirade of hate on this video. But what I think, or who I think would win in this scenario, is going to be Lizardmen. Yep, Lizardmen. Had to give it to Lizardmen. You guys should have seen this coming. Okay, so this is a very, obviously a very, very silly video. And even though the Conquistadors, I think, are very similar to the Empire in many ways, especially in like a lot of their weaponry and the way they decide to shield themselves. The Empire still has a lot of magic, some very, very high tech equipment, like, you know, steam tanks and stuff like that. The Conquistadors definitely do not have that, so they're a much weaker version of the Empire versus the Lizardmen, which is a mythical, fantasy-based race with magic. They're giant lizards or smaller lizards. They have giant croxigores. I mean, this is just a very, very silly video that I wanted to go ahead and make just as a reintroduction to my versus videos, which I will be coming up with here in the near future. I will have more of them, and that's basically it. Here's what I think would go down. So the Conquistadors will come to the New World, and they will go into the jungles of Lustria trying to find mythical gold cities, and you know what? They will find the Lizardmen instead. Now, I do think that Conquistadors will be able to fight and win a couple of the first and initial skirmishes, but I feel as they begin to plunder the Lizardmen holds and take treasures, they're going to start taking things that are very, very religious to the Lizardmen, very, very important artifacts to the Lizardmen without even knowing it. And that's when the Lizardmen will have full-on war on the small bands of Conquistadors that had arrived in Lustria, and will completely and utterly annihilate them, where they won't even know that they were gone. They won't even know how they went missing, really. Like the Conquistadors that stayed on the ships or stayed in, say, the islands between the New World and Europe, I guess, if you want to go ahead and put these two in the same universe. So that's kind of what I think. They would be so utterly destroyed. No Conquistador would try to come to the New World again to try to take out, to try to find these treasures, because of either not knowing what happened to any of the parties, or knowing exactly what happened through some survivor stories of giant lizard dinosaur creatures killing and murdering and eating all their friends and crews. And that is what I think would happen in this scenario. So those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Tell me how utterly foolish I am for making this video, or tell me how much you enjoyed this video and wanted to see more, and give me an idea. I'll go ahead and run with it if it is interesting enough. I know somebody else gave me an idea a while back. It was I think the Imperials from Skyrim versus the Roman Empire, which it's an interesting one, and it might be one of those off the cuff ones too. These silly ones I'm not gonna put much effort into when it comes to the I guess, you know, preparation. I guess this is more off the cuff. The other ones that I had made had more preparation into them. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of this, and put in the comment section below. Let's see if we can get over 50 likes for the Lizardmen obviously winning, because that was what was meant to happen from all along. There's no way they were not gonna win. And as always, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, become a subscriber today to go ahead and check out more of my videos and stay up to date with my channel. This is going to be Sunjetsu signing off. Long video, because again, it is very nonsensical. So let's go ahead and jump right in with the first category, and it's going to be soldiers. Now, the edge I have to go ahead and give. I'm going to go ahead and give the edges right away in the beginning of the video. I've changed my style a little bit on these guys because I don't want them to drag on so long, 20-30 minutes. But the Lizardmen, have it to the Lizardmen because let's see here, the Conquistadors, they get the like I said, they get the shield, the steel cuirasses, the steel swords, the spears, maybe steel helmets, and that's about it. They're basically essentially very similar to the Empire soldiers, the base ones anyway, from Total War Warhammer. So do I think that they have a chance? What is up, subscribers? Sunjetsu here, and today I bring to you guys another versus video. Now, I know it's been a while, it has. Now, you guys know how this goes. There are four categories, and I will give the edge to each one. This won't be a very particularly long against the Lizardmen. Yes, I do think they do, but do I think that they outright get the edge because they just have a chance? Absolutely not. The Saurus would completely annihilate these guys, even with gunpowder. I don't see much of an edge just to give it to the soldiers in the Conquistadors army. So the edge has to go to the Lizardmen. Have, of course, the Saurus, they have skinks, they have croxagores, they have huge animals that or lizard men that are just terrifying. They also have little skinks, but the Conquistadors have regular old chaps with swords and shields. Well, not shields, but armor. And so the edge I have to go ahead and obviously